Hi, good afternoon, one and all present here. This is Devipriya Devi Tombram from Final Year Civil Department, and I would like to welcome everyone present here for this webinar, Civil Apt Choice for Engineering, this thing. And I would like to welcome our HOD for giving the brief introduction on this topic, which webinar is conducted by Department of Civil Engineering, KCG College of Technology. Over to HOD.
Good afternoon to one and all. I feel honored to welcome Dr. M. Sekar, Honorary Professor at Chennai University, for this webinar on Civil Engineering, the Apt Choice for Aspiring Engineers. Welcome, sir. I extend my warm welcome to my department faculty members, participants, and my dear students. Engineering has been an aspect of life.
No. You missed your important person. Nagendran sir is there.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
You have to mention that. No, that's because he is a main person for me being here. No, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I'd like to thank all of you for that. Anyways, yeah. Thank you for reminding me, sir. Engineering has been an aspect of life since the beginning of human existence. Civil engineering is one of the oldest and broadest engineering professions. That's why we call civil engineering as mother of all engineering disciplines. As we all know, we, the civil engineers, are the backbone of civilization. We are the backbone of any society and are very dedicated to serve the public and provide them with basic as well as modern amenities. The world we live in today is the outcome of civil engineers' hard work. The roof over our head, the water we drink, the electricity that reaches your home, the road that we use for transport and also to supply food to our cities, the airports, the harbors, the naval ports, the list goes on, the underground trains, it's all the result of civil engineering. Civil engineering connects the farmers to the industries and connects industries to markets and markets to the public. We, the civil engineers, are the ones who connect the people. Basically, every single thing you have civil engineers playing their part in there. In short, civil engineering helps in sustaining civilization itself. In our country, we are currently witnessing a massive growth of development of structures. This includes building of new structures in addition to the renovation of already existing ones. The intention behind this is not only to make the place where we are residing more beautiful for our eyes, but also to make the world a much safer place to live in. We, the Department of Civil Engineering at KCG College of Technology, wanted to create an awareness among the student community and also among the public about choosing civil engineering as right career choice. And hence, this webinar on civil engineering, the apt choice for aspiring engineers by our Anna University Professor, Honorary Professor, Dr. M. Sekar. With this short note, I would like to introduce the speaker of today's webinar to the gathering. Dr. M. Sekar did his undergraduate in civil engineering and post-graduation in structural engineering. He obtained his doctorate in structural dynamics from College of Engineering, Guindy, Chennai University. He has received his postdoctoral fellowship from University of Surrey, United Kingdom. Professor Sekar has a vast experience of 46 years in teaching, research, and consultancy. He has held various positions in Chennai University. To name a few, he was Dean at College of Engineering, Guindy for a period of say about 6 years. He has also guided more than 50 masters and 10 doctoral theses. Dr. Sekar is an active member and office bearer in professional bodies like Institute of Engineers, Indian Concrete Institute, Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, and Indian Society of Technical Education. He is also the chairman and member of Academic Council, Board of Studies and Governing Councils in Anna University and other autonomous colleges. He is also the president of Alumni Association College of Engineering, Guindy. Currently, Professor Sekar is into teaching, advising, research as Honorary Professor in Anna University. Sir, it's our pleasure to have you amidst us today. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vandana and the Department of Civil Engineering of KCG College for giving me this opportunity. Of course, obviously a pet topic for any civil engineer, that to a civil engineering professor, to profess the advantages of civil engineering. Today, I'm going to speak about the topic as mentioned by the student and also Dr. Vandana. Civil engineering, an apt choice for engineering aspirants. So I should put it like this. It's not aspiring engineers, because engineers are already civil engineers, means there is no aspiration. Now they are engineering aspirants. So for them, why the civil engineering? That's the question. Because you got plenty of engineering branches available now to choose from. And among that, after recently, now the charm for this particular oldest branch has come down. And Dr. Vandana made my work easy in completely telling about every single aspect that civil engineering, how it's good and how it is very catchy or appealing. So here what I'm going to just present to you is about how really the civil engineering is a positive engineering. I normally say civil engineers are the real engineers. Number two, civil engineers are people's engineers, because the civil engineers their services are closely entwined with all activities of the general public, unlike any other engineer. So that is one thing which really we should feel proud of. And really we have got satisfaction in serving the society fully compared to any other branches. So in that, I am just going to present to you. I've framed my lecture by initially telling about the grand civil engineering structures, which of course most of you know. Maybe some information you may not know, I'll just say. And then about the people associated. I'm only having a very few people, but a large number of people are associated with this engineering. And we all are indebted to their contributions in bringing this engineering to this particular level. And thirdly, about the various aspects of the civil engineering positivities that we should know, and we should also tell others. The problem is that now it's like, if somebody takes computer science, everyone takes computer science. Somebody takes mechanical, everyone takes mechanical. And they do not know at the end of their studies what's the situation is going to be, and which one is actually going to be as having a sustained scope. So these are the things which normally, the people are giving a go. That is what's ultimately causing a problem. Here again, I have to tell you all people, now that the civil engineering is not having that kind of popularity, many of the institutions are closing down or closed down the civil engineers branches, resulting in the number of civil engineers coming out of the colleges being less and less. But you should look at the scenario that the infrastructure development for our country is growing by leaps and bounds. You also know very recently, yesterday, a day for yesterday, a new airport, green airport, has been announced for Chennai itself at Parandur, nearly a 2 hours travel from the city. So this airport, when it comes, it's going to be, again, we will all plan that it will overbeat any other airport in the country. So in that background, if you're going to construct, you can see how much of potential that are needed, how much of engineers that are needed to construct this. This is only one sample I'm telling. So in such a scenario, the people will look for civil engineers. There may not be many available. So that is where the point is very important, that we should pursue our engineering with full passion and vigor, so that the ones we are out, we should grab any opportunity that comes in serving the country. Strictly speaking, nation builders, normally we used to say. Strictly speaking, nation builders, that that title can fit mainly to civil engineers because all the infrastructure, all the support systems for the country are being built by civil engineers, right from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. The border security forces, border road guard, you might have heard about border roads organization. This border roads organization is doing yeoman service to the country in the harshest of the climate. They are there in giving all the infrastructure requirements in that particular places. So that is what I'm telling. So we are really building the nation from east to west and north to south. So that is the pride that we have. The another point which also I would like to mention now itself is that the pride of engineering mainly is with core engineering. I'm not only singling out civil engineering, but civil, mechanical, and electrical, normally the three core engineering branches which were there earlier. So there lies the pride in creating the facilities and infrastructure for the entire country. So let me just go straight away to my presentation, which is going to illustrate some of our own country. I'm not taking any examples from outside the country, which is, of course, still we have got plenty of them available. But we should know that our own country is excelling in lots of infrastructure, and they are all doing, they're all just standing testimony to our engineers' ability and talent. So I'll share the screen. I hope all of you are able to see the.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is our topic as given by our HOD. And so I made a slight modification on that. So the civil engineering, why should it be or how should it be an apt choice? Along with other engineering, I'm not demeaning other branches, but the positivities and the plus points of the civil engineering must be known to everyone. Just without knowing that, you can't just brush it aside. That's a point which I would like to mention again. So we were going to run through a few of the engineering marvels, as we call, strictly speaking, civil engineering marvels. You know very well, this is Madurai Meenakshi Amman Temple. Many temples in our Tamil Nadu state, especially, are having such huge structures, very tall structures. Of course, the tallest buildings or structures, if at all they were there, that were only these kind of temple towers, as you can just see. These gopurams, especially in Madurai, I don't know how many of you know that there are nearly 15 gopurams there in that particular temple itself. Maybe you may see 4 9-tier gopurams, the tallest ones. They are ranging from 152 feet, actually 152 feet to 161 feet height. There are 4 gopurams from south, north, and east, west. And every gopuram is featuring information, a lot of information about our episodes, myths, mythological figures, and events. So that is the best part of it, that it is not just a gopuram standing there, but it has got stories intertwined with that about our own culture and our earlier Puranas. So that is what is going to be there in all these 4. And apart from these 4 gopurams, there are going to be there is 1 7-tier gopuram and 5 5-tier gopurams and 2 3-tier gopurams and 2 golden gopurams. You can just see, I don't know in any other temple, so many gopurams are there. So this is something which is now, even if you just imagine how you're going to build such a huge, beautiful structures, that is what most important. The structures are so beautiful to watch and then see. Apart from the religion, if you just keep your religion outside, others aside, and then try to look at it as a structure, then itself we can just see the intricacies of these structures that have been made. So that is one. Next, of course, this also you people know, this is the Buddhist temple, Baha'i temple in Delhi. The information about this was opened in 1986. You can just see the petals. There are 27 freestanding petals. They are all, again, a structural component. Strictly speaking, if you look at a structure, They are all structural components for this structure. And there are actually 9 into 3, 27 petals are there, which are the middle height is 34 meters, the maximum height is 34 meters. And you can seat nearly 2,000 people inside that auditorium, open space inside. It has been constructed by the Engineering Construction Corporation of Larsen and Toubro. I'm happy that some of your students are there in L&T going internship. It's actually a pride to have such huge, bigger companies. You can just say construction giants in our company. They are doing extreme. And one more aspect about this Baha'i temple is it is using solar power. Nearly 60% of the power used is by solar power. And so that's why they are saving lots of money, and then saving also the power generation of the outside agencies. This, of course, is the wonder of the world, the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is a Mughal architecture, as you can see. It is symmetrical. It's a perfectly symmetrically planned. So that's another thing which should catch your eye, and made with sandstone and marble. And there are 4 identical facades, 33 meters high. The central dome you see at the topmost point becomes 73 meters high. The minarets you see on all the 4 sides, they're all 43 meters high. The platform itself, like that itself is 7 meters high with 100 meters square shape platform. That is, you have to go up 7 meters to reach the platform of itself. And so naturally, it's one of the 7 wonders of the world, as you can just see. And the way it is conceived and constructed, you can just look at the enormity of the concept, idea, talent, and creativity of the engineers who were there at that time. And this is called, some of you may know, it's called a step well. This is in Rajasthan. There are a number of step wells, of course, available in the North India. I don't see much of them are in South India, but in North India, there are a lot of things available. The main reason could be the water shortage. The water shortage is there outside these areas, and they used to conserve and store water in a deeper level. And to reach a deeper level, they made actually a number of steps. These steps also made very aesthetically and architecturally. So these step wells are something beautiful to watch, as you are able to see that the steps going in all directions and going down to this. So totally it is 13-story deep, and 19.5 meters depth is the total depth when you reach the water level at that point. So this is actually built some 1,000 years ago. This is called Chand Bahori step well in Rajasthan. This one is the dome, which is called Bijapur Dome. It's called Gol Gumbaz. This is the second largest in the world, next to St. Peter's St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome. This is 144 feet diameter, roughly around 40 meters diameter. And height is around 150 feet, nearly 50 meters high. That is, I'm telling about the topmost point. A dome construction, some of the final year civil engineering students may know, it is like a curved structure, and like this stress is taken fully on compression, and the construction is very, very tough, like constructing it from the base to the top, so that you can't make any mistake in this geometry, because making any deviation in geometry will try to cause tension. Automatically cracking will come in the structure, be it masonry or concrete. That's what is going to be. But those people are so talented, those engineers, that they were able to create this kind of structures in those days itself. Then we see lots of domes all around our country. Now this is in our Pondicherry itself. It's ROLE. Again, this is a dome. This is 22 meters diameter, and the total height is around 8 meters. This is called a Dhyanlinga meditation place. You can just see it is made with bricks and granite. So the total weight itself is some 570 tons. Actually, you have got if you Google it, you will be able to see the way it was constructed from the bottom, and then making a joining at the top as a very nice smooth curve. So this is another structure which we can feel pride of for having made it. Now, going to the other side, from the buildings to the transportation side, bridges. We have got plenty of bridges in all over the country, which is again portraying the talents of our engineers. This is a Pompan Bridge in our Tamil Nadu, and it is totally 2 kilometers length. And of course, this is not the longest in the sea, but at one point of time, it was the longest in sea. Now we have got 3 or 4 more bridges which are going into the sea in a longer level, like your Bandra Worli in Mumbai. That's also a longer than this bridge. This is actually built 12.5 meters above sea level, and it is 143 PS. What we see here is two what is called a Shersa rolling type arms. So these each arm is some 415 tons. So it's a fully steel, and they lift up to allow the ships to pass through. And for your information, another bridge is now coming up, wherein instead of this lifting up thing, actually sliding type of central portion is actually coined. I think it should be ready in another 1 or 2 years. So this is another marvel which we can really feel proud of having constructed in our own place. Now, as I just was mentioning about the Bandra Worli, the sea link as it is called, it's fully in the sea, trying to take off the traffic congestion in Mumbai, so that the people will be able to reach faster in this 8-lane traffic. Actually, it is a 8-lane traffic is in this. You know, the beauty of this structure, we feel proud, is that cable stayed construction, as you see here. And not many are available, this cable stayed construction in our country, but only if you go to the cities, you will see either in Bangalore or in Kolkata, you see such structures. So this is got some 3 components. Middle portion is what is your cable stayed, whereas in the end parts, both on the north and south, are they're called viaducts. So this is another structure which again I would like to point out. Coming back to again transportation, these flyovers are must to decongest the traffic in very difficult junctions. So I myself have felt the problem in this particular place because I live closer to this place. This is Katipara flyover in Chennai, and this is one of the I can say largest cloverleaf structure flyover in Asia, strictly speaking. So this one has been designed very nicely so that now you have a very smooth flow of traffic from any direction to any other direction. So this is what is one more thing. And I told you already that pride that we have, right? We have pride in constructing such things. So the next slide I'm going to show, I'm going to take pride myself because I was part of this design, and then we could construct within nearly 18 months and open the flyover to the public. And actually the current chief minister was the chief minister then in 2010. And I was the dean of the college and also head of the structuring division. So I was interested with the design work, and then we could complete with the help of the Stoop Limited that time. And that is called the Perambur flyover. Again, there was a congestion coming from the station going to the Perambur side and the other side, and also the railway coach factory side. All these things, they were a problem. And this particular thing, though it was not a very very cumbersome flyover, but the planning also very good in this particular flyover. So the people could go smoothly from one side to the other side. I am putting only because, strictly speaking, boasting myself that I attach myself in designing this particular flyover and giving it to the city. This is nearly 1.41 kilometer all put together. And every loop, there are 4 loops here, as you can see there. Each are 180 meters. This was opened in 2010. Then obviously we are now happy to see in Chennai that the metro work is going on everywhere. Strictly speaking, metro work is already completed in 2-3 places, but now everywhere you see metro is being given. And you will agree with me that metro has eased the traffic very much, that moving from either Central or Anna Nagar to this side, airport side, becomes so easy within 15 to 20 minutes, which will take nearly 1 hour if you come by road. And huge columns have to be put, such a high columns, and then the train moving in such a very high altitude, high height, very high, large height itself is, it's something which is awesome to look at, right? So that is what is happening. And especially in Katipara, where I live close by, it is nice to see two different lines coming and then connecting there, and one is higher than the other one. So that's nice to watch. And this is one more thing which people will agree. A fantastic railway project called Konkan Railway. The total length is 756.25 kilometers. And it is crossing 3 states, Karnataka, Goa, and Maharashtra, with 2,116 bridges, 92 tunnels. So a scenic beauty, if at all you want to enjoy, one has to travel in this Konkan Railway from one end to the other end, so that, really you have the feel of the Indian railways, how proud and then how fortunate that we have to have the engineers who could construct this particular railway system. So that is what I'll just say. Still, I am this goosebumps to see every single part of this particular Konkan Railway in front of us. And it has been constructed by L&T, Garmin, and Afghans, 3 popular giants in our own country. Then, of course, this dams, again in our country, we could build dams almost across every river, so that ultimately we are able to save water and then conserve water and then utilize it for the people and the agriculture and the drinking purpose, everything. So this particular thing is very close to us in Idukki Dam, one of the arch dams in our country, very nice dam. And this is in Kerala. This is the highest arch dam in India with 170 meters height. Okay, it is also having a very big powerhouse generating 780 megawatt of hydroelectric power. It was constructed by Hindustan Concession Company in 1976. It was opened by the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. So we again take pride about such big dams, whether it is gravity dam or arch dam or whatever dams, but we were able to construct and we are able to use them. It's all because of the civil engineers, right? Now comes the latest one. We are very proud of the current times, having outbeaten the Liberty Statue in USA, right? So this one is a statue of Patel, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, having a height of 182 meters. So you can just see the Narmada River at the backdrop. One can also see the Sardar Sarovar Dam. And it was dedicated to the country on the October 2018. Again, note that this has been constructed by L&T, Larsen & Toubro Limited. I've been particularly telling about these firms which have constructed, because next I would like to take the personalities who were behind these things. I'm only going to take 3 personalities of our country attached with the civil engineering projects. So far we have seen the structures. Of course, plenty of them are there. If you start doing, I can do the lecture for hours together, narrating every single structure, its importance, its the significance as a structure, as a service provider. All those stuff are there in every structure concern, right? So I just go to 3 personalities. First of them naturally has to be the Bharat Ratna M. Visvesvaraya. On his memory, we are celebrating Engineers Day every 15th of September. That itself can tell you how much importance and then respect we are giving to this particular person. He was born in 15th September 1860 and lived up to 14th April 62. So on his memory, we are celebrating on every 15th of September Engineers Day. He was awarded Bharat Ratna in 1955. So why a civil engineer given Bharat Ratna? The background is this. He has been with every major civil engineering project during his time. And like the KRS Dam, Krishnarajar Sagar Dam, which gives water to Kaveri and Metro. So he has been the chief engineer. He also was chief engineer for another dam in Maharashtra. He has been extensively working on the flood protection system of Hyderabad city. The qualities of Visvesvaraya, normally again and again we used to say, is sincerity, honesty, time management, and dedication to his work. You will all agree with me, if these four qualities are there with any person, naturally he will rise up in his life and naturally he will be respected by all other people. So that is what is the lesson we learn from Vishwesvaraya and a greatest civil engineer, which I would like to present to you first. The next person I want to show is the Metro Man, Padma Vibhushan and Sridhara. We have seen so many projects, right? We saw metro projects and we have seen the Konkan Railway. Behind that is this man, the Metro Man, as we fondly call him. He has been awarded in Padma Vibhushan in 2008. He did his BE Civil Engineering from Kakinada. I just want to share with you one particular thing. Metros, now we see metros everywhere. The first metro, for information, was started in Kolkata. So Calcutta, when Calcutta metro was started, everybody said, every city said, oh, what is this? Why Calcutta? Why not ours? We also want. Like that, they were all demanding. And Kolkata started. That's what I have to tell, because it kept on dragging for years together. You know very well, once you start any construction project, we are put a lot of hardships, right? For moving around and then going this way, that way, with moving our cars or anything. Now also in my street, I'm struggling because there's some drainage work is going on. We are unable to go even by walk, we are unable to cross. So when in major roads, if metro construction is going on, you can see the hardship that people will face with the narrowed down passages. There, everyone has to go. So in Kolkata, that's what happened. Kolkata, everywhere they dug up and then dug up for the metro, and the project was not completed at all. It kept dragging on and on and on. So the cities which were demanding for them, they kept quiet. They thought that the metro means it's going to be a problem only. So why should we request for metro? They kept quiet. So then, as a deputy chief engineer, Sridharan was brought in there, and Sridharan could hasten up the work and he could complete the metro. But anyway, the 10 years, 12 years for one metro, one phase itself is something which is horrible and nobody could, accept that. Then came the Delhi Metro. Delhi Metro, now that they know the deputy chief engineer of Kolkata, Sridharan, could do things, then they put a full in charge of Delhi Metro. Believe it or not, Sridharan could complete 6 months earlier the project, whatever targeted. He also saved something like maybe 40-60 crores of the money because he could finish early. So that was the achievement shown by this particular person. And everyone after that, then again the demands came and everyone started asking for metro. And he was also responsible for the complete Konkan Railway, because in Konkan Railway, the problems were the land acquisition. But he approached that problem with a social consciousness and he could solve every single problem personally, so that he was also able to finish the Konkan Railway also within time. And then after Delhi Metro, he was also in charge for Kochi Metro and Lucknow Metro, and everything he could complete in time. So that is why, no doubt, that he has been called as Metro Man. I am also proudly presenting him to you as a greatest civil engineer of our country. Then comes, we have been seeing Larsen and Toubro, Engineering Construction Corporation, many of the major projects, right? Up to the latest Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel statue also. So all the credit goes to the engineering giant called Larsen and Toubro, Engineering Construction Corporation. Earlier it was called. Now it is called L&T Construction. So this particular person, A. Ramakrishna, he did his BE Civil Engineering from Andhra University, and he did his MSc Structures from College of Engineering, Guindy. The very classroom where I taught this morning, this person also sat and studied. That is something really wonderful to notice. So I used to tell every student sitting in that particular classroom there that this is a place where Ramakrishna sat and then studied. So such is the pride that we have as an institution where from somebody, very great person, comes out and goes, right? So he was the senior vice president and also the deputy managing director of Larsen and Toubro before he retired. So he has been in charge for a large number of steel plants, petroleum units, petrochemical industries, seaports, airports, nuclear power plants, and all that. He was also he was awarded Padma Bhushan, an engineering giant. Of course, naturally, the country respected him, gave him the Padma Bhushan award. So anyway, in 2013 he passed away, and we all missed him because such a great personality with very clear thinking in all the structuring aspects. Actually, he was the one who introduced a new kind of formwork in all constructions of L&T, which saved time to nearly 20 to 25% of the time could be saved with that DOCA formwork, which he brought in and then introduced in the construction of L&T. So with this, I just stop with the presentation of the engineering marvelous structures and also the marvelous personalities who we are proud that the civil engineering is something really worth to look at. When you look at the structures, when you look at the personalities who could contribute their might to these structures, naturally you know that civil engineering is something, right? So those people who have chosen civil engineering, you can raise your collars. Those people who are wanting to take some engineering, please look at this possibility of choosing, and later one day you also be being projected, like I have presented 3 people here to you. Later one day, by the contributions of yourself in civil engineering field, your pictures will be presented to the future generation. Keep that in mind. So there are, I just giving you this, most of the things are known to you people, and only the people who want to know about civil engineering should know this kind of things. So that's what I'm just categorizing in the number of topics. Like the civil engineering compared to any other engineering, this has the widest range of services. So I don't think mechanical or electrical or any other branch also can boast about the variety of works that you can do is large many varieties. So this covers so many job roles, sectors, and skilled people who are working. So like very well the geotechnical, the foundation engineering, the foundation itself is consisting of providing some structural or what you call substructure in soil. And soil is, you take it, you know already, you people know already, and other people should know that it is the most cumbersome component that is in civil engineering, because it's very difficult to understand. I'll just explain to you, maybe I'll give an example about Chennai Metro itself. Some of you may know it. Chennai Metro, a Russian company, came for that underground construction from Tenambet and all this Mount Road and all that. So when they came, they said that they've got 100 years, more than 100 metros they have constructed, so they can do as well. My close friend and my 1-year senior, Engineer Ramanathan, who is also concerned with the metro construction, still he is in charge for Nagpur Metro. Even after his retirement, he is there. And he advised these Russian fellows that be careful, this Chennai is not that easy. So you got to carefully study and then quote. But those people, like they were flying high. They think that, they've done so many projects all over the world. So they can, no, our Chennai is very hard. So Chennai, they must be very careful. That is proved to them, because after not even halfway through, they found it very difficult when he went down. They didn't know what's happening below the ground. Somewhere rocks are coming, somewhere soft soil is coming, and somewhere they are unable to use their tunneling machine itself. So they had a lot of problem. Believe me or not, they simply ran away from the site. One day simply they vanished, leaving all their tunneling machines here. And our project, suddenly it came to a stop. So why I'm trying to say, the soil is one of the most complex things that we have to deal with. But that still we are able to do, study, and accordingly we are also able to provide the suitable foundations for all the structures we do, be it multi-story buildings or be it the towers or these kind of metros, pillars. Everything we are able to give, even in the complex terrain that we have. We have got environmental engineering. Of course, your own professor is an environmental professor you have. So this is again is one of the very important thing to dealing with the public related projects, and it involves a lot of risk, as you all know. okay, the water and air pollution, and trying to, tackle them. And power and energy, construction of dams, hydraulic power station, transmit towers, lines, and you've got onshore or offshore wind farms. Everything we are only constructing. And, not to say with bridges, different types of bridges we're able to construct, steel or concrete, cable stayed, or whatever bridges that are there, we're able to do that, right? And the design and consultancy based on the structural engineering, water resources, transport. So, first of all, civil engineering with the widest range of services offers you different verticals where you can go and then try to specialize yourself, try to serve the country. And already, as told by the HOD, we are making a difference in the people's life, because we are totally concerned with the people, their requirements. We are providing that day-to-day life requirement is provided by the civil engineers. So we plan the development of either rural or urban infrastructure so that it serves well to the people. We construct very strong buildings. We have to construct, and if the buildings are damaged also, again, we are only brought upon. So we are brought upon, and then we have to see properly how to restore that building. So to prevent them further damage and also restore them to the full use, we are able to do that here. So that's another work we do. And we are providing the transport infrastructure so that people can commute from one place to other place easily. The goods can be transported from one place to the other place. And enabling civic infrastructure is water and sewage treatment, and then taking them to the doorsteps of every house, and then trying to take out the sewage and then trying to dispose them, also treat them and then reuse them. All these are done by only civil engineers. We also have another role. Unfortunately, we don't have any ability to stop these disasters, especially the natural disasters. Our country is prone to disasters of different kinds. We have got a very large coastline, which means we have got a lot of cyclones, and we have got a lot of terrains which have got fault lines running below. So we also have earthquakes and landslides. Now recently we are seeing heavy rains, heavy places, and then we are able to see the landslides both north and south. We are able to see the landslides, and then we have to cater for them in all these disasters. And then their management, the major part is done by civil engineers. Maybe it is something disturbing for us to go and work, but still our civil engineers are working day and night in restoring the normalcy in such places. So that is why we say rightly, we are making difference in people's life. The civil engineers are doing that. Team effort. Now this is again another thing. It's not the civil engineer is not just sitting in front of a system, work and then go away and sleep in his house. No, it's not possible. Now civil engineer has to work in tandem with every other fellow, so that they have to work as a team. So they work in teams to solve real world problems. If you are a team player, then naturally, like it's a perfect career, because we have to go and work with every other person, coordinate the total project with all other verticals and all other people who are there contributing to the project. So naturally, the civil engineering industry itself is built on team spirit and collaboration. It is great to come together with people of different expertise and deliver one big, marvelous collaborative project. All those projects we have seen in the initially, so they were all done by lots of people interacting with each other, contributing to the project. So that is why we say it is a team effort and a teamwork, and the team spirit is going to be with all the civil engineers. And because of the variety of jobs, because of the variety of requirements, our jobs are highly required. So it is not going to die out one day and then simply we are going to say, no, we don't want any more civil engineers. It cannot be there at all, because for everyday life we are needed. And naturally, we are also trying to provide some modern techniques in providing these facilities. So that way, I tell you that we are needed. So civil engineers are employed by companies across the world. So it's a global profession. You can't say it's only in this one country, it's not another country. Every country needs civil engineers. And as a civil engineer, both government and private jobs are available. If not, this is the best to start your own industry or your own contract consultancy firm, where you can start your career as a self-employed professional, and you will be a job provider. Actually, you'll be worshipped like anything, because you are giving, like you are, what do you call, you are lighting a lamp in many families by giving jobs and livelihood and everything, being a contractor or a consultancy provider. So the growth opportunity in the career is also very high. So the going up also very high. You are expanding the industry or expanding your own firm is very quick, provided you are sincere. You can simply come up in life very quickly. I'll just give you one example. One of our, the next thing I'm just telling you, if you explore, you will find the proprietors of major construction companies will be only civil engineers, because a civil engineer knows how to run the company and how to develop and then grow his company well. So, for example, you take the Navin building, Navin housing of Chennai, or the Arun Exelo, or the Rajparis construction, or India builders. So you can name it anything. You will see the people who are running these companies are all civil engineers only. So here again, I'm telling, in one of the companies I just mentioned, there was just a, what do you call, a lower level engineer who was just there for 5 years. And after his experience here, with 5 years experience in building structures in city, today I'll tell you, he is on his own and he has got a handful of projects to do. Both housing and industry projects he has taken up. And then he has employed nearly 20 people under him now. So will you imagine? He was just a few years back, he was just an employee of a company here. But now he is running his own company with 20 people under him. Naturally, in another 5-10 years, his company is going to be very big and can even employ a large number of people. He will become big. So that is why I'm telling you, the growth opportunity of career in this particular engineering is very, very high, provided you are sincere and committed. Not only that, the aptitude and attitude you develop here when you pursue civil engineering, that is simply remarkable. One more thing I'll tell you. Of course, nowadays it is not that thing, but the earlier days, in any institution, if you just see the office bearers of the students' union or something, mostly they'll be from only the core branches, mainly civil and mechanical. The reason is that these branches develop such kind of attitude and aptitude, so to lead others. So when you develop such kind of aptitude, naturally when you go for cracking these exams like CAT for management studies, or UPSC for IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS, IAS, etc., you will see that in my own students are there in all these categories after passing this UPSC. So everywhere I see that they are spread all over. So the other point which I say is, our civil engineering jobs are highly required all over the country, not only all over the country, all over the world. Traveling opportunities, this is another thing. Our work is not confined to a chair, computer table, work table, or work floor like other branches. So other branch people, like they have to go only to the office and come back home. They should plan their holidays if at all they want to travel. Here it is not so. This profession gives a lot of opportunities to work on different sites and travel to new places. And much of the work time can be spent outdoors and work sites, where they monitor the project, such as they are working as project engineers, project managers. So in different areas, different places, they'll be working. And maybe sometimes remote sites also. That is going to be altogether great experience. You just go to any senior engineer who just retired from anywhere in the country and just ask their experience. They will not say it was troublesome at all. They will say it's only a unique learning experience, going to that place, staying there, working with the local people, moving with them. And they give a lot of different stories, which we really don't believe. We think that in certain places, people are very harsh and very bad and all that, sitting in here. But these engineers who worked with them come and say how nicely they are, especially one of my friends who worked in Manipur in Northeast. He has been there for, like nearly half of his life he was there, and he is back here now. You just ask him, he is so fond of those people, how friendly they were and all. So this kind of experience we don't get. But our civil engineering profession gives the opportunity of traveling and moving with lots of people during our profession. So travel opportunities. Now, the other thing is very important. It is not a mundane job. See, any other job, especially clerical jobs or something which, as you say, it is a mundane job. Even teaching, sometimes if you don't make yourself creative, teaching also become a mundane job. But that is not going to be applicable for a civil engineering field job. A civil engineering field job is an interesting, technical and creative job. How? Whether when you learn in the college or later when you practice, either in the office or in the field, you will find the civil engineering quite appealing and interesting. I hope that all the people who are listening it will vouch for that, because in my house itself, my elder son was electronics and communication. My daughter was civil engineering. When she was studying civil engineering and all her subjects and her exercises, this guy commented, "Oh, I also should have taken civil engineering." So the way we learn the subjects, the types of subjects we learn during the college itself, that itself gives this quite interesting and varied. And we are feeling then itself, when we are learning itself, we feel that we are closer to the society. We are going to contribute to the society. That kind of thinking comes to us when we are learning itself, because such a subjects we are learning, right? So civil engineers are expected to bring a level of creativity along with enhanced technical skills on the job. Structural engineers are especially creative about the structure they are designing to make sure their creation is modern, innovative, and they can function better than a traditional structure. So creativity automatically comes to an engineer when the requirements are put forth to him. Challenges posed during the execution of either water distribution or drainage projects themselves also, as I told you, when you start digging down, you don't know what's there down to put your drainage line or water line. So as an engineer, when you're supervising, then you will find a problem. So that's a challenge. So how to overcome and do that, you may have to take some very, very creative and challenging step there to make. That's why this is a unique nature to make the profession more interesting. So ours is an interesting, technical and creative field. Now this is most important. Now we are born, we live, and then we die and we go, right? And maybe our one or two generations after us, either our children or grandchildren, may remember us. Because we all know, if I ask you or if you ask me to tell who is my greatest grandfather, what is his name, I may not be able to tell. I may remember my father, my grandfather, if at all, the father for him. Only them I can remember. That too, the third one, I will remember only the name, if at all, if I am given to know. Otherwise, we will not know. But that's not going to be the fate of the civil engineer. A civil engineer who creates a structure which is going to stand for years together, hundreds of years, his name will be there. That is what we call it as, we have got an opportunity to create a lasting legacy. Structures designed by civil engineers generally last a long time, enable them to build a legacy which will last beyond their lifetime. Even after we are dead and gone, our name will be still there, and people will come and say, no, you go to Kallanaya or you go to the, about Pennyquick, you must have heard about this thing, the dam that is there in Tamil Nadu, that when he has come and constructed, now we remember him on his birthday, and then the people there, the village people, see, it's before 100 years before he was there. And now the village people who are the youngsters now, they tell the name of Pennyquick and celebrate him in that village. See, this cannot be obtained for any other engineer. It's only for civil engineer. So as a civil engineer, you have the opportunity to leave a mark in the world. The name of the civil engineer who is involved in the creation of any monumental structure, be it a dam, tower, skyscraper, port, or whatever it is, monumental structure, will be engraved permanently at the site for the future generation to see and appreciate. It is a reward for you after completion of the structure that shows the dedication and all of your efforts that you rendered in completing the project. This can be a significant signature for many people and can become the reason behind one selection of civil engineering studies. So that is what I say. We have the opportunity to create a lasting legacy. It is a respected profession and no retirement. This point also another point which you should keep in mind. The respect is there, of course. Don't say that no, I don't know about the civil engineer, I don't respect him and all that. It all depends upon the work that we do and the connection and contact and closeness that we have with the people when we are doing the work. So it is a respected profession worldwide. Civil engineers are considered to be as an indispensable unit of the community, and without them, the progress of the community and general functions such as sewerage or pavements or whatever else, standard ways of travel is not possible at all. So this will be felt by the people. This engineer, if it's a good engineer, serving engineer, he contributes to the society, then naturally he will have good recognition. A good and dedicated civil engineer gets high recognition in the society. So we are recognized, we are respected. So that is the way we should look at this profession. The other thing is positive thing and great thing is this. There is nothing like retirement for an experienced. This is of course applicable for any professional. Be is a medical professional, you don't retire, until they die, they can diagnose and then they can treat the people. Same way, you gain the knowledge in civil engineering that can help you until you go away. So till that time, you will be like serving the society with your vast knowledge. The career of civil engineers only gets boosted with experience. And what is happening now, the people who retire from the government services, they get employment with much more salary in some private establishment, especially in metro and other places. If you just see the railway engineers who retired from railways, they're all employed in these metros. And the salary, if you see, they are earning much more than what they earned in the services when you were there in the regular service. So that is what I'm saying. They get a better offer for each project according to their experience. Even same thing happened about our highways engineers also. Many of the highways engineers, the divisional and executive engineers, when I see them later, they were actually working in some road projects employed by either private companies. Sometimes there is a provision for the government itself to re-employ them in some of the projects. So that is why we say this profession is highly respected and there is no retirement. Then next comes the recession-proof industry. Recession is, sometimes it may have value, sometimes it may have scope, sometimes it may be dying, and then you'll have to wait for some more years for it to again, get it again. So that way, the civil engineering profession is, I don't say it's restriction. Maybe sometimes it's a downfall. Maybe because of 2-3 local reasons, there may be a downfall in the demand. Otherwise, this has to be there because, as you see, every day we see the phenomenal growth of infrastructure in our country. The allocation to infrastructure is growing every year in the budget. So infrastructure is very important. So automatically, this results in continuous demand for good civil engineers. So when you allocate money for infrastructure, like airports, roads, you just see that there are 6-lane road is coming somewhere. New airport is coming. New seaport is coming. Recently, you would have heard that 2-3 new seaports came around Chennai itself. So it has been built by only civil engineers. So there is a continuous demand for good civil engineers. So civil engineers seldom face the axe, as the business of construction and planning communities never gets dull. This is always rising only. And you know very well, population is rising. That may be bad, but as population grows, and it is expected to grow in India, as we see, it is not, we are going to overtake China, as you all heard recently. The government is forced to spend on infrastructure, and the demand for civil engineers to build this infrastructure in the form of houses, commercial and office complexes, malls, theaters, roads, bridges, tunnels, railways, airports, ports, harbors, power stations, energy and water distribution systems, etc., will always be there. So our profession is ever demanding and ever demanded and ever yielding profession. And let me just close this with some comments either by the students or by other public about our profession. Somebody says there is more to it than muddy boots and concrete. Tamil enna solluvaana civil appa adu verum kallu mannu dhaan solluvom. Ana we know now, every one of you know now, right? And everyone should outside the world also should know that. That's a problem. Many people outside still think that verum kallu mannu dhaan vandu civil engineering. It is not so, right? So there is more to it than muddy boots and concrete. In Tamil, you say civil engineering na varu kallu mannu concrete kutta kadayadu. We have got plenty of things now to do in our hands. Variety of things to do in our hands. And for us, every day is different. You just go and ask any practicing civil engineer, be in a private or be in a government, especially in our Chennai corporation itself, we go to talk to any corporation civil engineer. They will say they don't know. Only when they go to the field, they know what is awaiting for them. So every day is different. And also there is so much of variety, not only in the problems, but also in the contributions that you can do and types of works that you get. So much of variety that you have. So you need not get bored at all in your profession. And one guy says, I had no idea how creative engineering was until I got to get university and started my first project in the university itself. And many of you participate in a lot of competitions, project competitions. You will know your hands-on experience in creating that project, how interesting and creative it is. It is creative, whether it is bringing a drawing on a paper to life. This is the best thing. You just do a two-dimensional drawing on the sheet. But one day this is going to be a three-dimensional structure standing in front of you in brick, mortar, concrete, steel, and whatever it is. So it is going to stand in front of you. Just transform whatever in the paper in front of you as a structure. It's beautiful, how beautiful it is and how creative it is. And similarly, you are treading a tunnel through a congested ground below our feet. So when the metro is constructed on top of the ground, you know all this what's happening. But you don't know very well that everything is happening down also, with lot of tunneling machines going and then driving the tunnels. And then they're making all this lining, everything, and making the tracks. They're all happening below us. So now you can just see what's happening below is simply something marvelous, right? We encourage each other and challenge ourselves to achieve the results. And when we work together well, we get things done safer, faster, and cheaper. This is what we said as teamwork. And every one of us contribute to the project, and we are able to get the things done in this manner. It is great to come together with people with different expertise and work on one collaborative projects. Any project you complete and then come out, you will feel that so many people contributed and you are also one of them, and they all cooperated with you, you all worked with them. So that kind of satisfaction you can never get in any other profession. One guy says, I did not expect I could move to a different country to work after my studies, and never imagined the large scale of opportunities and the project roles that exist around the world. So this world is wide open. Only thing is, normally we don't venture to move out of our hometown or home city or home country. But if you really venture out, because many of my Tamil medium students have moved to Singapore. There are something like 10 or 12 of them now working in Singapore. Yeah, 2 of them have come back and they have started their own industry, their own contracting company here. So that's what I say. The opportunities are available in plenty outside, and only thing is you'll have to seek. You will make a huge positive difference to the world. That is the pride that you have in this profession. Civil engineering professionals need to keep the system running adequately and adjust it to address the modern challenges. Modern challenges, what are the modern challenges? Obviously, the population growth, environmental change, climate change, and the catastrophic events that are inevitable. That may happen, may not happen, may happen suddenly, and it may strike us unwarranted or unexpected. So how we rise up there is what is very, very important. So that is what my conclusion. So you are keep the system running, you are keep the world running, you are keep the life running for everyone in this world. Thank you very much.
That was an excellent presentation, sir. So motivating for all of us students. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Over to Baby Priya.
I'll stop share 1 minute.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for such a knowledgeable informative speech. And now I would like to ask the audience if they have any questions regarding any.
Welcome.
Any queries from students, participants?
Can you please unmute Liba Grace, because I think she has questions.
Liba, please. Devin sir, can you please unmute her?
Who, ma'am?
Liba,
Okay,
Grace.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Liba.
Yeah. I will only advise you people to advise your juniors, advise all the people. You know, right from day one in the college, you must look for what you are going to do. That's the most important thing. You enjoy your life in the college. At the same time, try to focus on what you are going to do, what you are be after. You know, because many examples I have in my own college. Those who had that passion and the idea and focus from the very beginning itself, they achieved it. They could achieve that against all odds because they came from very humble background. They did not have much of support, but their one point agenda was to reach that goal, and they were able to do that. Yeah, Liba, you got any question?
I think there's some network issue in the college.
Oh.
Okay.
Can I go first?
Liba, you can even type your question, ma.
Yeah, in the chat, you can put in a chat.
Yeah. Any other questions from the
Can I
audience?
ask?
Yeah, please.
Hi sir, good afternoon. My question is like, since we all know that like me being a female student, like what I have come to know, like people always say that since you are female, it will be more harder for you to work in a field or something like that. So is it tough for a female to be a civil engineer?
No, Priya, it is not true at all. And today, this question is, I'm really surprised to hear this question because you have surpassed all of us. Even the men, like you are able to go and then try to courageously work in wells. But I will tell you one example. 40 years back, I'm telling you, when we passed out, one of our colleagues, one of our classmates, she got a job in the government sector. And immediately the senior engineers were telling how this can work and all that. And they're not, like that was there all the time. Somehow I'm sorry to say that it is always there and we are unable to wipe it off from the some of the men's minds. So that time they simply put her in one of the remote areas, Singaperumal Koil, there is a place. That time, nowadays you have got a lot of road work and all that. That time it was not there. This lady was put there thinking that she will resign and go. But she was so courageous. She went all alone to that place, stayed alone there, along with, like she used to say, a lot of snakes will be going on. And it was like a very bushy place. The quarters was not that good and all that. But stayed there. And then, like she could work well, so hard. She recently retired. Of course, a few years back, she retired as chief engineer of, like first chief engineer of the board. So this is not at all point at all to know. And people also nowadays don't think that I can't select a lady and all. So everywhere you can do. And today that's not a problem like the years. So I request all of you, don't have that in your mind at all. You are fit, and then you are fitter than, I can say, some nowadays, than even the men folk to work in any place, any site. Okay, because you are all bold and you are all courageous.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your nice words about males and women. It's good to hear from you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, nice. If no other question is there, anyway, I'm open. I can give my email ID also. You can type your email ID. So if you have any query there, you are welcome to, or any counseling later also, you can just.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Yes, baby.
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone on behalf of my college and department.
Priya, 1 minute. I got another doyen or a veteran professor with me. He's on the environmental side. So that's what I asked him also. What, sir, you are there? Why Vandana is calling me? That's what I said. Then, like as usual, he said, no, you can strike well. You will strike sixes and all that he said. maybe that is true. I am a bit flamboyant in my speech and approach compared to Nagendran sir, who used to be very polite, and then, but anyway, he is methodical. So Nagendran, you can unmute and then say a few words to the students.
I mean, my reason is, if Nagendran had given, he would have touched only maybe 5% of the canvas. You made it 100% of the canvas. So that's the difference between both of us. And I singularly feel all the participants of today's webinar are highly lucky in listening to you, just for its huge information bundle put in such a highly structured way. And I'm sure there'll be at least 10 to 15% increase in the intake this year if parents and students have listened to you, because many of them do not know what is there.
That is what I said. They don't know.
And you brought it out so beautifully. You showed how the flower blooms, and then the blossom can be the benefit that students can achieve. It was such a wonderful lecture, sir, covering every aspect of civil engineering.
True, sir.
And
True.
it was very, very nice. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Professor.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, maybe Priya.
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of my college and my department, I extend a hearty word of thanks to our chief guest, Dr. M. Sekar, who spared from his busiest schedule to grace the occasion, and our principal, Dr. P. Devasundari ma'am, and our head of department, Dr. Vandana Devi, and lastly, to all our faculty members for making this seminar a successful one. Today, we had an opportunity to gather more information and knowledge about civil engineering. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.